Do you remember that sound? That wonderful, futuristic doot-doot-doot-doot noise. It was the sound of something extraordinary about to happen on your television screen. For millions of us, it was the weekly signal that Colonel Steve Austin was about to run in slow motion, faster than any man alive. He'd lift something impossibly heavy, or see with an eye that zoomed in like a camera lens. Lee Majors, as the $6 million man, wasn't just an actor playing a part. He was a genuine phenomenon, a figure etched into the very granite of 1970s pop culture. Strength, resilience, that cool, calm heroism we all craved. The show's premise was a modern-day fairy tale, a blend of science fiction and good old-fashioned American grit. An astronaut, grievously injured, is rebuilt, better, stronger, faster. It was a concept that captured the imagination of an entire generation. We bought the lunchboxes, we begged for the action figures, the little bionic eye you could peek through. Lee Majors became synonymous with this technological marvel, his easygoing charm, making the impossible seem not just plausible, but downright cool. He was the hero you felt you could have a beer with, even if he could crush the can with one bionic finger. Today is September 2nd, 2025, and Lee Majors is now 86 years old. It's a number that seems to defy the slow-motion image forever running in our minds. For many, his name might conjure a fleeting memory, a whisper of a bygone era. Some might even be surprised to learn he is still with us, a testament to how quietly he has lived in the decades since his bionic powers captivated the world. But Lee Majors' story didn't end when the credits rolled. In fact, one could argue that his most remarkable comeback, his most inspiring tale of being rebuilt, had nothing to do with bionics at all. Long before he was bionically enhanced, Harvey Lee Yeary was a boy from Wyandotte, Michigan, whose life was shaped by tragedy. His father, a steelworker, was killed in an accident before he was even born. His mother, just a year and a half later, was killed by a drunk driver. Orphaned, he was adopted by his aunt and uncle in Middlesbrough, Kentucky, and given their name Majors. It was an upbringing forged in hardship, a beginning that could have easily led to a different, far less remarkable path. But within that young boy was a core of sheer determination, a quiet strength that would define his entire life. His ticket out, he thought, was football, and he was good at it. Very good. He became a star athlete at Middlesbrough High School and earned a scholarship to Indiana University, a powerhouse in the Big Ten. He was a talented tailback on a clear trajectory toward a professional career, but fate, as it often does, had other plans. During a game, he suffered a severe back injury, a brutal tackle that ended his football dreams in an instant. The path he had so carefully laid for himself vanished. He was no longer a football player. He had to find a new identity, a new purpose. He transferred to Eastern Kentucky University, graduating with a degree in history and physical education. He moved to Los Angeles, not with dreams of stardom, but to take a job as a parks and recreation director. It was there, while coaching football for kids, that he met actors who saw something in his rugged good looks and quiet charisma. One of them was James Dean's last agent, who told him he had potential. Hesitantly, Lee began studying acting, attending classes led by the esteemed Estelle Harmon at MGM. He was a fish out of water, a Kentucky boy among Hollywood hopefuls, but he approached it with the same discipline he had applied to football. His big break came in the form of a horse. He landed the role of Heath Barclay in the sprawling TV western, The Big Valley, alongside the legendary Barbara Stanwyck. For 4 seasons, from 1965 to 1969, he learned his craft on set, holding his own against a seasoned pro. A TV movie was developed based on the novel Cyborg by Martin Caidin. The project was called The $6 Million Man. The network needed a lead believable as an all-American hero and as a man of immense physical power. They needed someone relatable yet larger than life. They needed Lee Majors. The 1973 TV movie was a ratings smash, and a series was quickly ordered. The show premiered in 1974 and was an absolute sensation. It tapped into the era's zeitgeist, technology, space exploration, limits of the human body. Colonel Steve Austin was the perfect hero. He wasn't a brooding anti-hero. He was a good man, given extraordinary abilities, who used them for his country. Lee Majors, with his handsome, earnest face and athletic build, was shot into the stratosphere of fame. He became one of the biggest stars in the world. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a unique time in television. A handful of stars held an incredible sway over the public consciousness. Their faces beamed into our living rooms week after week. Lee Majors was at the epicenter of this phenomenon, but he was not alone. He shared the spotlight with a pantheon of leading men who defined the era. Think of Tom Selleck with his iconic moustache and Hawaiian shirt in Magnum, P.I. Larry Hagman, the deliciously villainous J.R. Ewing in Dallas. Each cultivated a specific persona, a brand of charisma that kept audiences tuning in. These stars navigated fame in different ways. Tom Selleck, much like Lee, has always maintained a certain distance from the Hollywood machine, preferring life on his avocado ranch. He has continued to work consistently, most notably in the long-running series Blue Bloods, embodying a quiet professionalism and integrity that has earned him lasting respect. Then there was the larger-than-life personality of Larry Hagman. As J.R. Ewing, he became a global icon, the man everyone loved to hate. The Who Shot J.R. cliffhanger was a cultural event that transcended television. Hagman embraced his fame with gusto, living a life as colorful as his most famous character. He remained deeply connected to Dallas until the very end, returning for the show's revival in 2012. After the fall, Guy wrapped in 1986, the bright glare of the spotlight on Lee Majors began to soften. He continued to work, of course, taking roles in films and television shows, but he was no longer the weekly fixture in American homes he had once been. The pop culture landscape was shifting. New stars, new types of shows were emerging. For a public accustomed to seeing him as a bionic man or a high-flying stuntman, his transition into character roles was a quieter affair. He seemed to recede from the public eye, choosing a more private existence over the relentless pursuit of fame. This period of relative quiet led to a strange and persistent phenomenon. As the years went by, a misconception began to take hold in the public's collective memory. Many people simply assumed that Lee Majors had passed away. It's a peculiar fate for someone once so famous. Perhaps it was because his iconic roles were so tied to a specific time, a time that now felt like a distant memory. Or maybe it was his deliberate withdrawal from the Hollywood party circuit that created the void. This public misperception highlights a curious aspect of modern celebrity. If a star is not constantly visible, not active on social media, not part of the 24-hour news cycle, they risk being relegated to the past, sometimes prematurely. Lee Majors' disappearance was an illusion. He had simply opted out of the relentless game of staying relevant. He was alive and well, quietly building a new chapter of his life, one that would prove to be his most fulfilling. The year was 2002. Lee Majors, now in his early 60s, was living in Florida, enjoying a life far removed from the pressures of Hollywood. He had been married and divorced 3 times, including his high-profile union with Farrah Fawcett. Honestly, he wasn't looking for love. He was content with his life. But as fate would have it, a friend insisted he come to a dinner party. It was there he was introduced to a beautiful actress and model named Faith Cross. She was 36 years his junior, a vibrant woman with a warm smile and a genuine spirit. There was an instant connection, an easy chemistry that surprised them both. Faith wasn't starstruck. She knew who he was, of course. It was hard not to know the $6 million man, but she was drawn to the man himself, not the legend. She saw a kind, gentle soul with a great sense of humor, a man who was down to earth despite his incredible fame. For Lee, Faith was a breath of fresh air. She was intelligent, funny, and completely unimpressed by the Hollywood persona. They began dating, and what started as a surprising connection quickly blossomed into a deep and meaningful love. They had found in each other a partner for a new chapter. After 4 years of dating, they married in a beautiful ceremony in Italy in 2002. The marriage of Lee and Faith Majors is a masterclass in building happiness away from the chaos of celebrity culture. They made a conscious decision to prioritize their relationship over the demands of the industry. While they maintain a home in Los Angeles for work, their true sanctuary is a life lived with normalcy and peace. They are not regulars on the red carpet circuit, nor do they court publicity. Their joy is found in the simple, everyday moments, sharing a meal, walking their dogs, simply enjoying a quiet evening at home. It's a life that stands in stark contrast to the high-drama, high-visibility world Lee once inhabited. Faith has been a powerful and positive force in Lee's life, particularly in his later years. She is not just his wife, she is his partner in every sense of the word. She manages his career, helping him select roles that are fulfilling and fun. She encourages him to stay active and engaged, ensuring he takes care of his health. It was Faith who encouraged him to have a much-needed heart bypass surgery, a procedure that undoubtedly added years to his life. She is his advocate, she is his confidant, she is his greatest supporter, providing the kind of unwavering partnership that allows him to thrive. In return, Lee showers Faith with a kind of old-school, gentlemanly love. He is deeply appreciative of her presence in his life and makes no secret of it. He credits her with giving him a new lease on life, with bringing him a level of happiness he had never known. What is the secret to the enduring happiness of Lee and Faith Majors? It seems to lie in wisdom, mutual respect, and a shared understanding of what makes a life truly rich. For Lee, his later years have been a time of profound reflection. He has learned that grand gestures and public declarations are fleeting. The real architecture of a lasting love is built day by day. Small acts of kindness, attentive listening, the simple, consistent choice to put your partner's happiness on par with your own. He has embraced this philosophy completely. Faith, in turn, provides a partnership that is supportive and strengthening. She doesn't treat Lee like a fragile relic. Instead, she sees him as vital, funny, and intelligent. She encourages him to embrace new challenges and to stay connected to the work he loves, on his own terms. She is fiercely protective of him, his health, his legacy, and his peace of mind. Her love isn't about clinging to a star, it's about nurturing the man. This dynamic creates a powerful bond, one where both partners feel seen, valued, and safe. The 36-year age difference, which could have been a source of friction, has instead become one of their greatest strengths. Lee's life experience provides a grounding force. He has seen the dizzying highs of fame, the pain of loss, and the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. Faith's youthful energy and modern perspective keep their life vibrant and forward-looking. They bridge the gap between generations, creating a unique synergy. She keeps him young at heart. He offers her a wisdom that is timeless. As we look at Lee Majors today, at 86 years young, we see a man who has achieved a rare and beautiful kind of success. The slow-motion run has been replaced by a leisurely walk, hand in hand with the woman he adores. The bionic eye has been replaced by a twinkle in his own, one that speaks of contentment and gratitude. Some might call him lucky, and in some ways he is. He was lucky to survive the tragedies of his childhood. He was lucky to get a second chance after his football career ended. He was lucky to become a global superstar. But his story teaches us that luck is more than mere chance. His luck is the result of a lifetime of resilience. It is the product of a quiet kindness that has earned him lasting friendships and deep affection. It is the outcome of the wisdom he gained from navigating the treacherous waters of fame and coming out the other side with his integrity intact. He learned the roar of the crowd is temporary. The quiet whisper of a loving partner is eternal. He understood being rebuilt into something better, stronger, faster. It wasn't about technology, it was about learning, growing, opening his heart. His story is an inspiring message for us all. It reminds us that it is never too late to find our greatest happiness. Life is not a sprint to an early finish line, it is a long, winding journey with many acts. The $6 Million Man may have been a fiction, but the man who played him has shown us what a priceless life truly looks like.